It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back and happy Monday. All right, guys. Well, this Monday is absolutely crazy. I can't even express enough. We're going into the holiday season. We have Thanksgiving coming up, which means family time. And before we get started, well, of course, smash that like button. But I do want to say a couple things before I bring up Jason. We've received such an overwhelming amount of support and love and positivity going over towards Pops, who is going through it right now, and he watches all of these videos. So for you guys, I can't thank you enough because it means everything to him, and it makes him feel so special. And then on top of that, I'm going to get a little bit more into personal things that are going on behind the scenes tonight in our members only Let's Whine About It. So I pinned that link in the live chat. We're going live tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is 4 p.m. Pacific. But yes, we're going to mention it all. There's a lot of drama, a lot of ridiculous shit going on, and there's also a lot of family things that we're dealing with. But since we're speaking of Thanksgiving, one of my favorite parts of Thanksgiving, and I know it's supposed to be about the family and it's supposed to be about the food and the memories. Yes, that's all great. But I love the shopping. Black Friday is my shit, and I love to go spend money on Black Friday. It's the only time of year that I do so. And you guys also can when it comes to surprising a loved one with a gift. Now, I told you guys last week that roseforever.com is such an incredible site, a business, because Jason and I love our roses. Well, right now for Black Friday, they're offering 80% up to 80% off. Yeah, something like that. It's up to 80% off of their entire site, which is crazy because the flowers last forever. And that's my biggest qualm with buying flowers. I love decorating with them. I love them in my house, but then they die, and I don't like when things die. So you can go to roseforever.com and use the code Adam25 for an extra $25 off. And even this one I thought was really cute, and I chose this acrylic box. I have the black dome one too, you guys know, but it has like this little shelf. I'm just obsessed. So with that, Jason doesn't have to buy me flowers anymore. We have a lot of hot, messy topics to get into. We have over 10 videos to do, multiple podcast interviews today. We're getting ready for the holiday season, and we don't go around. So if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, and let's welcome Jason. Hello.
Oh my gosh. I feel like this is my warm-up for our long day of interviews. This is going to be a lot of fun. I did love that, and I have to say, so my cousin watches this on replay, so she'll already get them when they're coming to her, but she's receiving them today for her birthday.
Is she?
They're so cool. Yes.
Jackie,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. Legit,
they're just so fun to have in the house. They don't
I didn't even realize too, like Jason had to teach me, you can take the top off and leave them out, and everyone keeps asking me, can you smell them? I mean, it's like,
yeah, the ones that
heaven.
we have that are the dome, I think we've had those for what, like 2 or 3 months, and they are like really, they still look amazing and they smell so good.
Oh my gosh. And then we have Valerie Reed, who said, or Red, is it Red or Reed? It's Reed.
Yeah, Reed.
Okay. Hi, Adam and Jason. Happy Monday. I bought a larger rose bouquet and used your code for $25 off. Thanks.
Oh, awesome, guys.
Yes. Okay. Yes. That makes us excited.
We'll be all like deals, right? And there's something that Adam and I will not do, and that's for his channel as well, but especially on the podcast, is we will not like take on sponsors we don't believe in or we wouldn't buy ourselves, because we don't like pushing products that are like crap, because there's a lot of that being pushed.
I want to bring this up on Members Only Live tonight because we get a lot of sponsorship opportunities. And you know what's crazy is the majority of them are gaming situations. And I always have these hard conversations with Jason because it's silly, but it's like everybody likes to make an extra buck. But then I tell you, I'm like, I don't fucking game. Like I can't go on and be like, guys, go play StarCraft Warrior because this is the shit. And when I'm not on YouTube, I play StarCraft Warrior. Like people would be like,
that other one we get a lot too? Manscaped. That's the one we get too. And I'm like, we're 2 gay men. We know how to manscape without manscaping equipment, I guess. So I was like, I don't know if that really.
One.
Do you think?
I just don't know if I want to show I don't want to show like my pee on YouTube.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to do that, Adam. Like it can. You can use it other places as well. I think it's just. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, right now, listen, I'm trying to negotiate one with HelloFresh too. I mean, the point is there are a lot of opportunities that come knocking, and unless we fully believe in it, we don't do it. But Jason, we're already 5 minutes in. We have a lot of interviews and stuff to go on. today. So I think that we need to jump right in, and
we gotta move. We gotta keep it moving today.
Keep it moving today. I think we should start with the Real Housewives of Potomac before I get on to Vanderpump Rules, because some shit is really pissing me off and I have a video to play for you guys. But when it comes to the Real Housewives of Potomac, I asked you guys a question and I'm so curious. I want to go back and see like what the actual poll ended at. I said, who was more in the wrong on this weekend's episode of RHOP? And majority said Mia. Now, Jason, you actually think it's more Dr. Wendy Osefo.
No,
okay. About this.
No. Okay, first of all, it was a very strange situation, right? Because Mia went to bar 1 with the intention of doing this, right? And then she kept pushing it, involving like the other women, Charisse and stuff like that. Just like kind of what she's doing with Candace in the room situation. Like, you know what you're doing, right? Right. So I felt like she is really in the wrong there. She did throw a drink first. Okay. So when I was watching it last night, I was like, wow, am I agreeing with Robin that Wendy is antagonizing Mia? But then I'm like, hold on. If a glass of water came flying in my face, I wouldn't be antagonizing you. I would be jumping over that security guard. So I totally understand where she was coming from. I'm just like, now thinking back about it, I'm sad that Mia got her to go to that place. Even so much so at the end of the episode, Johns Hopkins University had to say that they were not involved. It had no involvement in this episode, which I thought that was crazy. And that's not a good look. But here, it seems like both women won here. You know, like Mia is like sad and wants to leave the trip. Okay, whatever. And now you put Wendy in a really awkward, bad spot.
I mean, listen, do I think that this is appropriate? Look at Karen's face. Karen's face is like legit everything. Guys,
I love this cast. I love this cast.
I'm living for this cast. Speaking of that, I know Jason told me not to give any tidbits away of some of our exciting guests. We have guests from Netflix this week, guests from Bravo, and fellow content creators who we just absolutely love and adore and have great relationships with. I want to talk about Potomac with one of them, but my whole thing here is there's a lot of effed up issues all across the board. This morning,
100%.
I was tanning this morning, and I know that sounds really bad, but I'm about to go see the family, and they judge me for everything. It's like my teeth, my face, my skin, the way I act. Are you an asshole?
They actually don't. I think you judge yourself on it. I don't think they.
You know, my dad said that to me this morning. He's like, you build yourself up and you work yourself up that everyone's judging you. And he's like, you're not that important. And I'm like,
okay, Kathy Hilton, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, but I love, listen, if anybody can keep me in check, it's my parents. They always 100%. Tell me like, get out of your feelings, you little bitch, because you are not that important. No, they do. They're like, it's not that big of a deal. But when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, you both are in the wrong because Mia, you literally you did the bar 1 situation. And I know based off of us watching one of our favorite people in the world, LVP from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we used to have conversations with her. Jason was so much closer with her, but I used to I remember covering like the curtains at the restaurant and make sure that, like paparazzi would try to get her. And she was in between filming Vanderpump Rules, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and running like 500 freaking businesses. And she did it all with a smile and the best attitude ever. And I remember watching and thinking, okay, I would see the producers and how they would contrive things. And I'm like, you guys know that Dr. Wendy, once she found out the dollar amount of how much it was going to cost to open a Nigerian restaurant, she sort of took a step back saying, well, right now is not the time for me. I'm still a professor. I'm still commentating on things.
She also had receipts though, because she wanted to go be part of this walkthrough of the space, and Peter said he would let her know, and that was the last they had at the conversation. So we saw on Wendy's texts.
Right, but I think what happened was Wendy had a conversation prior with Peter because he was so conveniently available, right? Give me a break. On FaceTime to have a girls' night out at bar 1. First of all, Peter, the best part about Peter ever being on TV was Cynthia Bailey. And I saw, and I'm just saying, I saw back in October where Nene Leakes made a comment about how basic Cynthia Bailey is and how she looks. And she's just like, not the prettiest.
Not the case. Yeah. We met her multiple times over the years too.
And I promised her a man from Palm Beach. I got to deliver.
I don't know if you'll deliver on that, but she is a presence, and she, I would have to agree with you that probably the best thing about Peter on any of these shows still is Cynthia Bailey. But it's just weird too. Like, okay, say Mia calls you and it's like, hey, I'm having a girls trip. We're coming down. Peter's saying, well, I have this thing with Wendy because she didn't call me to let me know she's coming into my city, into my restaurant. Well, you invited Mia, or Mia set up this outing, right? So if Wendy doesn't really know she's coming to bar 1 yet, shouldn't you reach out and be like, hey, hope to see you down here. I know you're down here with Mia and the girls trip. Like, it just seemed very contrived, right?
Well, and also, let's be real. They're filming 12 to 14-hour days. And she's going out of town without her husband. So respectfully, as a woman, and I know I can see where people will go both ways with this. Devil's advocate, right? Like, if you're not cheating on your husband and you're like, if there's nothing to worry about, why not reach out to Peter? But also, as a woman who she's navigating, first of all, she's filming the show, but she also has certain like core values. I don't personally want to go meet up with certain people. Like, Jason and I have friends who have hit on both of us, and it's very uncomfortable. And I'm not going to go sit out and go to a restaurant and be like, I'm in town, let's go into business with this person. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to sit down with them and have a conversation.
See those people again.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
No,
I mean, listen though, like the fact that Mia is making this situation in its entirety all about her and how Peter's like her family, but this business deal has nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with you. So
Rob J in the city. Peter lives in Atlanta. Why would Peter call just because she's going to Miami?
Well, according to Peter, Miami is his city.
And Wendy ghosted Peter. No, Lit Real Red. First of all, Red, I miss you so much. But no, she texted him back. They had the receipts on last night where he didn't actually text her back for the walkthrough. So that's a good point. However, I think where we kind of lose the conversation is like, you are a grown ass woman. Let me tell you really quick. I have a lot of people who I don't necessarily favor, right? And we're kind of dealing with something right now, not on the internet and not people that you guys would know from YouTube, other relationships that we have and just friendships, and they don't necessarily pan out, right? And sometimes you have different beliefs, different political beliefs, and that's okay. But then I think what you do is you decide, okay, this is not for me. And even when
you want to spend your
show,
time, like the older I get too, it's like you really have to be very selective in who you want to spend your time with and put your energy into, right? And I think with certain people, I don't know. You know what I have to say about this fight, because I know I'm like everywhere right now, but is I'm watching, Charisse and Karen go, kind of go back and forth.
Oh wait,
kind
Karen.
of like,
there she is.
Listen, I know they won't ever be friends. I don't think that's ever going to happen. But I'm like, after watching this, I think you guys could handle a lunch. You know what I mean?
But I think, I think Charisse has too much in the vault. I think that she knows things about Karen having a mishap in her relationship. And this is all speculation and hearsay.
Yeah.
And I think Karen does not want to have those conversations. I feel like she feels like she's being baited into a conversation that it's only going to be it's only going to be Charisse's side. And if she doesn't go with it, there's nothing productive that will come out of that conversation, which is literally something that we just went through. So I think I understand where Karen's coming from. She's like, 5 years ago, over the last 5 years, you haven't been on the show. You haven't reached out to me once. Now, all of a sudden, you're filming with us. You're coming on the girls trip. You're bitching about a room that doesn't have a bathroom.
This is just, honestly, I feel like we're introducing Charisse back onto the show because the fact that it bothers Karen is someone for Karen to go up against. And I feel like producers would love that. No?
Oh, they would absolutely love it. But she has to pull it out. Like it's almost like then again, Robin Dixon has been, like sitting on this, like, we're going to get married. We're not going to get married. We're getting a prenup. We're not getting a prenup. At this point,
no one cares.
By the way, if you guys know a great person in Florida to do marriage shit and prenups, Jason and I are getting married in December. But it's like a super quick, this is not our ceremony. We have somebody really special doing our ceremony, and I think we're going to live stream it. But my whole point is,
we're doing our private, like, let's save on taxes next year.
It's not just for taxes. You keep saying that was a joke.
But, you say that. That was your joke originally.
I know, but now it's like running too far. Like now.
Okay, just kidding. There's other reasons.
We're getting called out for like having not real relationships and stuff like that. Let me just say really quick. I've been with your ass for 10 years. I don't need a fake relationship. It doesn't serve me. I lay next to you. I listen to you bitch at me for the way that I'm like ADD, OCD, and all kinds of D, even the D. I listen to you bitch about everything. And I don't need to fake that. That's because I love you. And trust me, if I didn't, I would get rid of your ass really quick. Just saying. And also, I got told this weekend I was an asshole to Jason on the podcast and on YouTube. So I'm sorry for that too. But I also
said, why are you sorry? Who can tell you that? I'm the only one who can tell you that.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like you are. So
and I have
but also those are the people that want the fight and the drama, right? It's like, why would you bring that up if we're invited to your house for dinner? It's strange.
Okay, that's not. Don't give too much.
We're saving it for members only, guys, because I do want to
talk
about that.
Lorena said also Wendy was right. Giselle didn't stand for violence when it was Monique against Candace, but they're okay with Mia attacking Dr. Wendy. Listen, I don't always favor Dr. Wendy. And I see where sometimes if you don't favor her, and this might be unpopular opinion, but I've seen in the past where it's like, oh, you don't favor her because you're a colorist or racist or something like that. That's not how I view the show. I think that all people, all colors, all genders, everyone, there's beauty in all of it. I can disagree with you. I don't necessarily, I don't agree with a lot of people. In last night's episode, I agreed with Dr. Wendy, which you said, Jason, you kind of sided with Mia. But I thought
I didn't side in the moment. I was like, why is she still pushing? When Mia is being held back, that's the time to end it. With all of those degrees, you would think that okay, I'm done participating in this fight. I mean, Mia was already held back, but then I'm rewatching it and I'm thinking about it and how it's kind of like setting Wendy up. And then after remembering, I put myself in the position of if you are throwing a drink in my face, it's gonna get heated and I probably wouldn't let up either. So I kind of changed my mind on that.
Oh no. Here's the thing. If you throw a drink in my face, Dr. Wendy she's very poised. Because if you throw a drink in my face, I am slamming the fucking wine glass over the bar or the table and I'm taking the stem and I'm like, excuse me? It's different. Lord. The way that
Lisa Rinna with a wine glass.
No, Lisa Rinna's like a joke. She's like a show. She puts on a show. She's Days of Our Lives. I'm talking about, do you remember when I was working?
Her life.
Yeah. I was working at a nightclub and I have this girl who I'm really good friends with. And you guys can piece it together if you want. I don't know if anybody really cares that much, but she was on Big Brother and she ended up marrying the guy that was her showman. And she has beautiful babies at this point and kind of an incredible life. She won the Amazing Race or the Great Race or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know. But the first night I met her, and it was my first night working in a nightclub, there was a guy who called her a bitch. And she was like, excuse me, grabbed this bottle of liquor, slammed it over the table and held it to his face. And I'm like, she looked like Ariana Grande. I'm like, you little petite thing. You have all of that.
Nightclub girls know how this works. And they are not afraid. I would be afraid to mess with one of them. Because right behind nightclub girls too are also big muscle gentlemen who can also take care of business, but they can fight for themselves.
Yeah.
If they need to, and you should. But
and we'll bounce back and forth between the Real Housewives of Potomac and also the nightclub girl situation, because when I'm thinking about this nightclub girl situation, there was also another person who I worked with before she worked at SUR. Do you know who that is? Danica Dow.
Oh, Danica. Yeah, she worked at the same club.
Yeah, she was a one-hit wonder on the season of Vanderpump Rules. And I wanted to play...
I don't know about one-hit wonder, but she was a one-season wonder, yeah.
Yes. It was a one-season wonder, and yes, I think that we'll leave it at that. But I wanted to
Hey, Charlie's still on the show, so...
I mean, I don't fucking know how, but that's okay. Speaking of Charlie, let's bring this up really quick.
Okay.
This article came out on Reality Blurb, and let me just say really quick, guys. Charlie Burnett, met her. I don't have anything negative to say. I don't have anything positive to say either. I think that that's the best way I can put it. I thought
kind of on the show, right? You're not giving us anything.
You're not giving us
Also,
anything.
like,
She was
you're
so
just kind of
miscast.
there. Yeah, it's
Yes.
just kind of there. Yeah. I love her journey. Okay. I love her personal journey of like losing weight, getting in shape, you know, all kinds of stuff. Like, I get that. Cool. But also, like, I don't want to watch you on Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah. And then she's like, well, my eating situation. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I relate to that more than anyone. I mean, I have body dysmorphia. I hate my face. I hate my teeth. I hate my I look at the scale every single day. It's like a total struggle. I count my calories. Jason gives me so much shit for it. Like, I get this more than anyone. However, the way that she was using her storyline, I was like, you're not landing the plane, girl. And then I have to say really quick, one of my favorite interviews, and I always say this, but we get new interviews all the time for Hot Messy Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast. So go give it a listen. Our last episode was with Lala Kent from Vanderpump Rules, who Charlie was not a match for. And that's why we talked about it in the episode. Go listen to it. But Sheena Marie. Now, Sheena is on Vanderpump Rules. And Sheena was my first friend in Los Angeles. She was so sweet to me, and she got me my job at SUR. And since then, we've maintained a pretty good relationship. Like, are we best friends and we sit there and like kiki on the couch and watch Netflix and like pet the cat? No. But every time we see each other, it's always a good situation. It's always just a good time, and it's nothing but love. And I messaged Sheena and I was like, excuse me, what did this girl say? I'm not going to tell you guys like about the full conversation, but it's just laughable. This is what Charlie said about Sheena.
The tea for next season, I don't fucking like anybody. That's the tea. And Sheena's a fucking loser. That's a fucking tea.
Can I just ask you really quick, Jason, to rewatch this? I want you to rewatch it. And do you think that this is an intoxicated TikTok?
Yes.
Hold on. Oh.
Anybody? That's the tea.
It's not playing.
Oh, hold on. Oh shit, you have to play it now all of a sudden. Whatever. I don't need to replay it. Here, let's just end it. You think that was an intoxicated video?
Yeah, definitely slightly, but also yeah, it's, you know, that's the thing. You don't have to like anybody because there's not a lot of people who enjoy watching on the show. So that's it. I've always been like that about Charlie since we've seen her on the show. I can defend Sheena in this because we just had her on our podcast, right? And we were talking about how in the long game of reality television, how are you setting yourself up for, let's say, if Vanderpump Rules ends tomorrow, right? Sheena has made great decisions as far, I mean, she owns what, two homes. She runs a business. She's a mother. She's doing fine. 3 homes, right? So it's like, you're good, girl. So I wouldn't call that a loser, but I would call calling someone a loser on TikTok intoxicated a loser.
That's the thing, guys. She has the most adorable little baby. I mean,
you don't have to sit here and we don't have to like praise Sheena for everything that she has.
Oh, no. Listen.
This is someone trying to get another season. You know what I mean?
I just want to say really quick, I get so much shit. I'm so like Twitter is a rabbit hole. I cannot stand Twitter. I loathe it. I think that means like I hate it. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. I don't know. My whole point is, right. Oh, okay. Thank you. I hate Twitter. And then I sit there and I get people all the time and they're like, Adam, you're so fucking biased. If it's LVP, Teresa Giudice, you're licking their ass and this and this. And it's just like so aggressive. And I'm like, no, this point I want to actually be biased on because I can speak to the fact that she's such a great person. She's successful. She was the catalyst for a successful reality TV show that has 10 seasons under its belt. She has been on the show the whole time. Nothing has ever wavered. She's still making the same paycheck. Has she kissed a couple frogs to get to her prince? Yeah. Have most of us who are watching? 100%. Has Charlie? She's still on her frogs waiting for her prince. Hold on, girl. We're not done yet. Has she had multiple endorsements? Yes. Promotion, sponsorships? Yes. Bought multiple homes? Yeah. And she's damn good when it comes to her relationship with her family. And that is what she values the most. And she also pushed her husband, Brock, into having and cultivating a relationship with his family back in Australia. That way, her daughter can have a relationship with them as well. Like, that is not a shitty person or a fucking loser. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah. Let's move on.
This is true. Let's move on.
Yes.
That was too long focused on that anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to move on to this. Well, Real Housewives of Orange County. By the way, Miss Wang, love you guys. Congrats on marriage and hope Pops is okay. Thank you so much. That is very sweet. And we do too. And I will keep you guys posted on that. Tamra Judge, though, has opened up about her time on the Real Housewives of Orange County. And she said that her and Eddie were experiencing a little bit of a disconnect when it came to her filming the show because she was so busy and the schedule was so demanding on her, of her and her time. Right? That makes sense. She also said that there were a few cast members, one in particular, who was talking shit about her podcast. And I'm guessing that would be Heather Dubrow. And speaking of Heather Dubrow, she was brought up by Lisa Rinna on TMZ. Now, I don't know if you guys caught this, but on TMZ, Lisa Rinna was walking out with a bouquet of sunflowers. They were really pretty. I mean, they look good. That's not the point. But TMZ asked her, the reporter, would you want Heather Dubrow on the show? And she's like, I think Heather Dubrow's great. And they're like, well, what about Kathy Hilton? Would you continue to film if Kathy Hilton was there? And she said, I can film with anybody. And I was like, okay, that's great. I mean, she didn't try to bury you. You tried to bury her. So of course you can film with anybody. But Kathy Hilton has true. She drew her line in the sand and said, you, Rinna and Erica, I will never film with you. Jason, where do we start? Beverly Hills or OC?
Well, I mean, with OC, I understand, like, you know, Tamra hasn't been on the show for a minute. The podcast has been really focused on, right? But I don't know if how so much was it a struggle on the marriage when you guys have done this before. You've been down this road before, you know, like, I don't know what made this time different. Is it because of the anticipation of you coming back and there was more like weight on your shoulders to kind of carry the show? Because the show hasn't been doing that great, even bringing Heather Dubrow back. Yeah. Maybe that was it. But I'm like confused. I'm like, Eddie is no stranger to this world, right? I mean, he's been around it for so long and on it. And yeah. So,
I mean,
yeah,
he's no stranger to the world. But I think, though, and guys, let me say this really quick. I never out my conversations with our housewives. However, after Jen came on and we did our after show, which we're about to talk about Jen in a second, but we did our own Salt Lake City after show, and she called 2 peas in a pod, 2 pussies in a pod. Which you saw me bury my face into my hand. I was dead.
We all were.
I didn't know how to react. And I knew, listen, that's the housewife game, right? Like, if you're going to shade one, they're coming back for you. Like, it's not, no one is safe. And that's like, when I get into kind of social media back and forths, or when somebody attacks me or us or really like whatever, I'm like, I didn't sign a contract to be on a reality show, bitch. Like, I don't want to play. I don't want to play this game, but I get it. For them, they do. And then when they interact and they go back and forth, it makes headlines, and then it puts them in front of producers, executives, and they're like, oh my God, she is polarizing. Shit's happening.
Right.
So, 2 peas in a pod. I just want to say really quick about Tamra Judge. Tamra, I love you. Please don't yell at me. There was a confidence at BravoCon. There was this confidence and just this like way of being like, Jill, you, and they're all afraid of me. And when I got cast and when I started filming with them, they were all afraid of me. And I was here to save the Real Housewives of Orange County. And I was like, shit, that is a level of confidence that I think we all wish we had. However, I'm wondering, because I've been on my high horse before. Jason's been on his high horse before.
I'm going to have to argue this, but go ahead.
I was going to say, there have been some times where I've been overly confident and you've looked at me and been like, but you need to come back down off of your high horse before I knock you back down off of your high horse. Like, no. I am not a fan of yours. I am your fiance. And
listen, when it comes to Tamra, okay, she is coming back. Okay, she's not like on her way out. She's not already on the show. She's coming back, and she needs to come back full force. You know, she's probably going to carry a lot of the show, right? Yeah. Like her or not, she needs to come back and be the housewife you either loved or did not like. She has to be, you know? So I get where she's coming from. However, if you would have seen how much love and support she got, there were bigger cheers when Tamra Judge came out that first day at BravoCon. When she came out, people started cheering for her. It was really loud. It was Tamra. And she was crying. I mean, she had a lot of attention. She has this podcast that's hugely successful, even with Teddy.
2.5 million downloads in the month of October alone.
I mean, yes. And you're carrying that show, right? So, like, you have all this
she
love,
is
but
carrying
she had even, it was louder than when Kathy Hilton came out. So she is a favorite. She needs to come back. I think she needs to carry that confidence through the show and through anything else she does. Is she right all the time? I don't know, but you know, it's.
I mean, I don't think it matters at this point. I
She's
think
doing
for
a
her,
job.
she's doing the job. And I think that, you know, to be fair, Eddie was asked on Watch What Happens Live if he would want her to come back to the show, and he said no. And Andy Cohen said, I even think I know what your answer is going to be. And Eddie said, no, I don't miss our time on the show. Even though they had to pivot, she started real estate for a little bit. They sold their home. They kind of downsized. Things happen, right? You go from having an extra $1 million income, and let's call it what it is. Like, she's making $1 million based off of the amount of time that she's been on the show, the sponsorship opportunities, social media, appearances, everything. She's making $1 million a year when she's on the show.
Right.
So when you go from making that to not, that's a big hit. And then you have to kind of change your life. But I think that Eddie became comfortable with changing his life because it was less stress. They didn't have to talk about it all the time. And one thing that I feel like Jason and I can both like speak to is we go out with a lot of housewives. We're going out with one tomorrow. By the way, I'll tell you after, Jason.
I know already.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, you're not the only one who
Did she text
people.
you? Oh, so God, that threw me off. I thought I was surprising you. Jason thought he was surprising me with a hey, we're going out to dinner with our friends this weekend, and it ended up in turmoil. So I can't wait to share that with you guys. But you know, my whole thing is I feel like for Eddie, because we have spent so much time with the housewives, when you talk to them, the majority of them literally cannot stop talking about the show. It's almost like if you see Katie Heron on Mean Girls when she's like, you know, like my lip gloss and my hair. And like, I just found myself talking about myself all the time, but I became obsessed. And then all of a sudden you have like her friends who are like, you became a plastic. And it's like, that's what it's like. They legit love to talk about the show. So Eddie is a guy's guy. And he's like, I don't fucking care about this show. I don't want to talk about it. And I can see where that was probably a relief for him because he got to enjoy his wife again and go dirt biking and go to the gym and hang out. And this could be a lot. But I also think that he understands my wife is working. She's playing with the girls and she's bringing in $1 million, which is a shit ton of money. So
yeah, that's very
you're
true.
doing the damn thing.
It's very true.
Let's move on. So we have Andy Cohen. Actually, before we have Andy Cohen, and oh God, this just still annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I wanted to say really quick, congratulations to Melissa Gorga and Joe Gorga for their brand new beautiful home, a white brick house, literally 2 doors down from Teresa Giudice, which is so awkward, but hey,
that's so convenient. Yeah, that's great.
I mean, listen, they bought the house for under $600,000. They put in over they bought the house for $950,000. I apologize. Let me rephrase that. $950,000 they bought the house for. They took out a $500,000 loan. They're in this house for $1.44 million. Can I just say really quick, in the state of Florida, at least where we're at in Palm Beach County, $1.44 million is going to get you a shack. So this is pretty freaking incredible. This is great. Right?
That's true. That's awesome. And very convenient for production. So they don't have to rush between houses so much.
I already said going into season, maybe it's not going to be season 13 because the house just finished. They moved into it just in time for the holidays. But going into season 14, they're going to have that drone of like Teresa and Louis
going from one to the other.
Yes. Yeah. That's almost like you saw how they did with the Kardashians the first season when it was like the Kardashians. They're going to do the same thing. But congratulations to you guys. I cannot wait to see the photos. Her closet is already iconic.
We love a new housewife house, right? Like Heather Dubrow's house. I mean, I think her house might have outshined her last season, but like we love a new housewife house. Villa Rosa, Lisa Vanderpump. I mean, fantastic. We love it.
It's always a moment. And I can't wait for next season. I can't wait to see her and Joe's, and I can't wait to see Teresa and Louis. I think that building a house is really special. Jason and I last night, we went to sushi, and then I think I got food poisoning. I was like vomiting my guts up. But Jason and I went to sushi, and then we went to go do Black Friday deals right after. And we went to Best Buy and we bought a lot of shit for the new studio because our place is currently being built and finishing up in January. It was supposed to be done in October, guys. So I promise you, I'm not just like fueling or feeding the dragon and making shit up. It's supposed to be done in January now, so we're just fingers crossed, right? I mean, we have bigger fish to
Hey,
fry.
listen, it's, we're building, right? So that's also a problem.
And
It
there's
takes time.
hurricanes.
You run into things, and we have hurricanes down here. And right now, everyone's attention is still on rebuilding, the West Coast and Fort Myers and stuff that got so hurt from Ian, right? And then we had Nicole come through, and it's like, you can't win. You can't win. No matter where you live, there's always something. New York's dealing with snow. California deals with fires. We deal with hurricanes. That's just how it is.
Exactly. But at least we get to predict it. Now,
this is
just
true.
Getting back really quick, I think that we have, again, like bigger things to worry about, like Pops and his health and like other things that we have going on. So really the house it's like all semantics at this point. But huge congratulations to them. I cannot wait to see. I think it's so fun building something, especially when you get to put your touch on everything. And we can't wait to share ours with you. But our last thing to end us off, because we're about to go get ready for a big interview. We have a few today, and Monday is manic. It's Manic Mondays. roseforever.com. Go get your 80% off. Check the banner out below. But Andy Cohen, everyone keeps asking me about this because of our interview / after show with Jen Shah from this past week. Andy Cohen has spoken out about her potentially not returning to season 4. Everyone keeps saying, Adam, what are your thoughts? I don't have thoughts. I think that obviously, if you listen to Jen, I want to say real quick, if you want any thoughts from me, I made a disclaimer at the beginning of that interview. People are trashing the interview all over the place. Like, Adam, why didn't you ask about legal? It wasn't about legal, guys.
Well, here's the thing. It's always, and I say this all the time, right? Like when you say, like, when you have an opinion, then you're biased. When you don't have an opinion, Adam, you don't have an opinion. It's like a lose-lose situation. So no matter like what you do on your channel, someone's not going to like it. Right. And even if you say at the beginning of your live and you say, hey, I'm not talking about legal. We can't talk about that. She has a sentencing date in a month. Like it's just not happening, but we're doing like an after show like they do, on the show and talk about the show. And you actually get some real unfiltered, tea. I understand there's a lot of opinions surrounding Jen Shah, but at the same time, if you didn't listen at the beginning and you still want to comment on why aren't we talking about legal, then you shouldn't watch it.
Right. Well, I mean, and that's the thing too, is like, that wasn't the purpose of the conversation. Maybe in the future, after the sentencing date, we'll have that conversation. Andy said that he doesn't know. He said that a lot of the fans are saying Jen is the show and that they want him back. He said his words verbatim were talk to the judge. Personally, I saw where a lot of people were like, Jen can talk about this because she was already charged. She pled guilty. Now she's waiting sentencing. That's such an ignorant and reckless statement to make. She cannot talk about anything, you guys. When it comes to legal and stuff like that, there are certain things that she can't talk about because that could influence her sentencing. And it's just, I want to leave it at that. I don't want to talk too much about it. And hopefully she wants to open up and have that conversation with us. And if she doesn't, I completely understand. This is her life. It's not ours. And I respect whatever way the pendulum goes. Now, with that, we do have a few interviews to go get ready for. And I know that Jason wanted some time because we have about 15 minutes before our first one. We are coming back tonight. And I pinned the link in the live chat for Let's Whine About It. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to get a lot more personal. So if you guys
listen, I really need your help on, I'm going to open up about everything that happened this weekend on our members only live. I was like a little taken back, but at the same time, not invested enough to be like,
we got kicked out of somebody's house.
And that's fine. And listen, it's like, and politics don't always line up, but like, I can only listen to so much. Like, it's just like, okay, but thank you. Like, we're your guest in your house. You don't have to like point fingers at me. You can also agree not to agree.
You pointed fingers at them
afterwards. I like this.
It was, guys, it was a nightmare.
No, listen, it's funny though, because politics cannot motivate your life. You know what I mean? Because inside, these people are really good hearts, and I had a really good time with them. But then also, things also come up.
I mean,
but it is what it is.
We're like, apparently there's so many relationships that are getting severed for the holidays. And it's like, at this point, just like, fuck it. Like, as long as we have each other, our little naked pussies, 2 pussies in a pod.
But also amazing relationships that have come into play. This is just how it goes. I always say reason, season, lifetime. Like, this is how it is with people in life. Even the ones that I've attached to, like, touring with Cirque du Soleil for 13 years was a really special time for me. And you think because you're on tour with these people that you can only understand this other person can only understand you because you're doing the same thing in the same situation that not a lot of people in the world do. You think that you're going to be friends for the rest of your life, and it just doesn't happen because life takes you in different directions, different ways. So there's a reason that you meet people and you might keep them around and they keep us around. There's a season, which is a lot of friendships. Some can be great, some are not, some are at the beginning, some are at the end. And then there's your lifetime friends, and you already know who those are.
Right. Okay, guys, we're going to go get ready for our next conversation for an upcoming podcast episode, which we cannot wait to share with you. Thank you so much for all of the super chats, super stickers. Thank you to everyone who joined us in the live chat. You guys are absolutely incredible. And again, if you missed the announcement at the beginning, we are over here supporting roseforever.com, where if you go and you use code Adam25, you get $25 off, which the site is almost 60 to 80% off of most of the products anyways. These last up to a year. There's like special oils and stuff that preserve them. Yes, they still smell absolutely delicious. Everything is vegan friendly as far as the way it's, like made. You can't go wrong. And who doesn't love flowers? So go check it out. Their Black Friday deal is incredible. And make sure you do it in time for Thanksgiving. roseforever.com, just like it says at the bottom of the banner. And join us tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern for our Let's Wine About It. We have pre-records coming your way. I love you guys. Again, smash the like button, and we'll see you next time. Happy Hot Messy Topics Monday and Thanksgiving week.